One Gravel Nation, we're back again. You know, the Gravel Cast. Welcome back to everybody. Hope the last two has been enjoyable for you guys. I hope that if you got to know the business, about the business, and about the Lacage team a little bit more. Now last week I said I will come in with K, which would have been Cairo in Lacage, but we've had a sit down, and the team has decided that we should let the girls go first and then the boys will go after. But before we go any further, I need you guys to like, share and subscribe to it. And if you have a friend tell them about it. Not to mention the notification bell so you can prioritize it. So when we drop the video, you get first choice to see it. Come on, Shawnee, let's go!
Okay, the first one. What obstacles have you faced starting this business?
Obstacles I've faced starting the business. Well, first obstacle that I found, I don't know if it's such of an obstacle or it's just the journey of obviously getting to where I need to get to in relation to the business. It was when I enrolled onto college and trying to fit college around the job. That was a difficult task, but I still managed to do that as well. Other obstacles I've faced is just the time that it takes to get everything done. So you can't do one thing without the other thing. So the time that I want to launch, I've had to put the launch to a later date due to me getting everything that's needed, and I'm literally two hurdles away from completing everything. And is there any other obstacles? Not really any other obstacles. Only other obstacle that I can say that I faced, it's just firstly when I first tried to get my name out there, I had a little bit of a struggle with it, and then I realized that I weren't utilizing social media. And from the moment I started utilizing social media, everything's just kind of took off. So those are the obstacles I've faced thus far. Again, I don't know if I can class them up as obstacles because everything is a journey. So it's just the journey of getting to where I need to get to in relation to the business and putting it out there and stamping my name in the earth and leave it for manifest. You understand me? So yeah, those are the obstacles that I faced up until this point. You happy with that? Thank you very much.
Where do you get your inspiration for your songs?
Inspiration for my songs, it's just I spend a lot of time with myself. So like in the evening times I'll go for walks and stuff like that, and 9 times out of 10 I'm either listening to some kind of inspirational book or I'm listening to a music, and sometimes it can just be a word or it can be a couple of words that inspire me to make a song. Like for instance, I was listening to The Secret by Napoleon Hill. Not The Secret. Yeah, The Secret by Napoleon Hill. And in that, I don't know if it's not a podcast, it's more like an interview that he was on. And he said in that interview, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And straight away I got inspired by that. And I made a song of it. So if you guys go back through my videos, you'll see it. I'll give you a little snippet of it because I need you to go and watch and like and share and tell your friend. So from that line, the song I came up with, it was me and you that was singing it in the kitchen that morning, weren't I, Shawnee? That morning you was off to school, and then we were singing it and laughing about it. We even videoed it as well. And it goes. For every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. So you hear me no people, just do the action. Cause the reaction won't be a fraction when okay, so go on listening, tune into the videos and you'll get the full clip of that. But yeah, the inspiration is just basically it's not necessarily from listening to music that I get inspired. It can, like I said, listening to a podcast or an inspirational podcast or an audio tape. where I get my inspiration from. So sometimes it's just a word, and I just build everything around the word, a particular word, whatever the word may be, or words, and then from there I just, like I said, just keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it, and more than likely I go off a flow from somebody previous, whoever that artist may be, or that person may be. So that's where the flows and stuff come from in relation to the songs. So yeah, that's where that came from.
Would you want your kids to carry on the business?
Most definitely would like for them to carry on the business. I'm not saying that they have to, but I hope by doing what I'm doing, so the podcast, the social media, because obviously the kids are into social media now. Well, all my kids are into social media. So I'm hoping that inspires them to carry on with the business, and by setting up that business and leaving a legacy, and that legacy is not just for them, that legacy is for their kids and their kids' kids. So most definitely I would love for them to, carry on the business. And obviously the older they're getting, they're more clued up in relation to social media and a lot of other things. So I'm sure that they will bring a lot more to it on top of what I've brought as well. So I'm hoping everything what I'm doing is going to inspire them to say, let's carry this on for Dad, in his name. You know what I mean? So the business is their names anyway. So as I've said previously, I'm just doing the groundwork. The business is theirs. It's already theirs. But I've got to put that work in order to create the avenues and the lanes and, the different options for them to be able to, carry on that business and make it even more successful than it is already. So yeah, most definitely, I would love for you guys to carry on this business and, make a life out of it. Yeah, definitely.
Did living in multiple different countries affect your perspective on businesses?
Yes, it did. So I've obviously born in Jamaica, lived in America for a couple of years, went back to Jamaica for a year or so, and then came to England after. And I went to school in all three countries. So when I first went to America, I spent a lot of time around a taxi firm. So I was sat in the office while they was answering the phone calls, and them days it was it looked like an L shape, and they just pressed the button when needed to speak to the driver. So somebody will ring the phone to book wherever they want to go. This is in America. And then they'll press a little button and they'll call a driver out, whether it be 5-1 or 5-3, because it were numbers then. So my first initial inspiration for this type of business came from that time I spent in America. And then when I came to England, I worked in a car wash as my first job when Lily was first born. I went to wash cars, and again that gave me an inspiration as well, because I was spending a lot of time around cars. That's where I taught myself to drive, in a car wash. So I just moving cars about to and from the yard, and before I know it, within a few months I was able to drive on the roads. And then Jamaica is just, like I said, the music I sing says it all. The mannerism that I carry myself in says it, and all of that came from Jamaica. The icing on the cake was just going to these other two countries, which is America and England. So living in multiple countries has definitely had a massive inspiration and a massive impact on me as a person, outside of the business, just me as a person, because I've had that opportunity to go and see how people live in different places, in different parts of the world. So a lot of them kind of stuff I've applied to my business. You guys probably won't be able to see what those are, but in my head, I know. Like I've just given you an example, going into America and spending a lot of time in a taxi firm. That just gave me a massive inspiration, because I found it intriguing how one person in an office can control so many drivers out on the road. So that was a massive inspiration, and that's where the first thought and idea came. I didn't know where it was going to be or what it was going to be or how it was going to be, but I knew that I wanted to do something along them lines, and so many years later, and we're here, so yeah.
How long do you see this business going on for?
This business, as I said to you before, is more than just the business, it's a legacy. So I want this business to live on forever. So just the same way as I would like for my kids to carry on the business, I would love for them to inspire their kids to carry on the business and carry on the name and branch off into different parts of the whole traveling business, because I want it to be more than just moving people from one city to another city in England. I want it to move on to where we're doing international. So we're transporting people to the airport. When they get to the other side of wherever they are, wherever they're going, there's Lakads Travel there waiting for them to get them to their final destination, and then coming back home, Lakads Travel will be on the other side to collect them and drop them back to their home. So yeah, that's where I see the business going. That's where I see the business going, and how long I want it to live on forever. I want the name Lakads to be a household name. So people are thinking about going to airport, Lakads Travel is the first thing on their mind. Lakads Travel is, oh yeah, we're going to use him because, you know, he made sure that we was okay, he made sure that we was there on time, he got us through our destination perfectly, there was no hiccups, there was no mishaps, there was nothing. So I definitely want this name to live on forever and ever and ever and ever.
Okay, last one. Do you think your business is a good influence on your kids? Yes,
I do believe it's a good influence on my kids, because I think children's, for a child, their first role model in life is their parents, their mom and their dad. Children live what they learn. So if children grow up and see mom and dad doing a certain things, automatically in their mind they're gonna see that and think, right, well, mom does it or dad does it, so it's okay for me to do it. So I think by running a business will give my kids that business mentality to not necessarily do the same business, but to become their own boss and to control their time rather than a boss controlling that for them, you know. So yeah, definitely I would love for that to be the case in relation to the children and going forward. So yeah, it's, I just don't want my kids to become another number. I want them to, whatever ideas they've got within their mind and within their thoughts, don't be shy to express that. Don't be shy, don't think, oh, that idea don't make no sense. An idea is useless if you don't act upon it. So if you act upon that idea, you don't know what the future brings. You don't know what out's there for you. You don't know what's on the other side of that fence. But in order for you to find out what's on the other side of that fence, you've got to first act upon the idea that you've got. So whatever the idea is, start now. Whatever you can do pertaining to the idea you've got, start it now. So whatever the business may be, or whatever the idea may be, do what you can now. Don't worry, let whatever you can't do, don't let that be a worry. Because if you allow that to be a worry, you're never going to make that first step. So you get an idea, act upon it. Do it. Do what you can. Do what's possible now, and allow the rest of it to fall into place. So yeah, that's definitely. Does that answer your question in the right way? Yeah, and that's your questions finished, all 6. So thank you for joining me, my third daughter, my footballer. We're currently on the way to football. Show them the road so they can see. Currently on the way to football to take her to come to her training. The next England superstar is behind that camera, guys. Remember, I said it on here. So when she becomes a superstar and we start shooting videos with her as a superstar, you remember that I said it on the Gravelcast. So that's where we're off to now, and that's what we're about to do. So you see, I'm always working. So I'm working, doing the gravel cast, and I'm working making sure that my daughter gets to a training session and get to put the work in so she can, you know, show herself off to the world and become her own boss again. Because by being a footballer, technically, you know, you are your own boss. You may play for a team, but you know, you can control your time. Well, when it's off season, you can. But yeah, you get to control your time. So thanks again for joining us, guys. I'll see you guys next week, where we will have Kay, who should have been here this week, but you know, the inspiration comes from the kids, and if the kids say something, I have to act upon it. So we'll have Kay next week, and then we'll have Jay the week after, and Jay the week after that, and then we've got some really good things coming. So we're just in the process of planning them all. So watch and look out for that. So what I need from you guys though is 500 like, 500 subscribe, same kind of number pan the notify. You understand me? So you don't miss anything and you get to see everything on our journey. So let's catch trouble. The Gravel Cast with the Gravel Boss. Peace!